wechseln wir einfach auf Englisch und dann haut es hin. Jetzt wie gesagt, ein bisschen unscharf, aber es geht schon. Okay. So, lala. Ja, es geht schon. Sieht auch ganz gut aus. Alright. Okay, so I think we could probably switch to English if that's alright. Yeah, and let's.
Right. Just a question. I thought
Yeah,
you
of
would
course.
like send out a stream starting tweet of sorts.
Oh yeah, I sent one out already. It's on Twitter. I even tagged you, so if you want to retweet it, you can do that.
Why is it not showing up?
Is it showing up? Wait, it should be showing up though. If it doesn't, then it should be like that. Now it should be. Yeah, okay, now I know it's gone out. Okay. Alright.
No.
Damn, so this was a rough start, but it's working kinda now. So to all the people joining in, I'm sorry for my camera quality. We had some problems, and I kind of had to improvise, so the stream is looking a bit wacky today, but we'll manage. I mean, as long as you can see Raphy well, then everything's fine, I think. Ah, damn. We'll manage. Okay, so yeah, again, we got Raphy on today. So in case you don't know, because a lot of my viewers are from east, west coast of the US, etc., or not from Germany at least, so they might not know you. But basically, Raphy is playing K. Rool, right? And he's been kind of going ham in Germany, so he has been beating a lot of players. He's caused quite a bit of quite a few upsets, and yeah, I kind of wanted to invite him because I wanted to talk a bit about like how he's kind of doing it, right? Because like you know yourself, you're playing K. Rool, right? You could be playing somebody like Palutena or just someone that isn't K. Rool, kind of, right? So that was one of the topics I kind of discussed with Yusuf last time already. Character choice, and you're kind of the outlier if it comes to that, right? So
well, more or less, I wouldn't say I'm that much of an outlier when it comes to picking a character, because I didn't pick K. Rool because I was like, oh, that's a bottom tier, and I want to play the bottom tier and be the cool guy who beats everyone with a bad character. No. I picked K. Rool because he's fun, first and foremost.
Yeah, of course.
Played him ever since the release of the game. It's simply because I started up Ultimate and I saw his back air and this whole sound this makes. And then I was like, damn, that's a cool character. I want to play him.
To be honest, that's kind of exactly the reason why I play Meta Knight, right? And I started playing him in Smash 4, and I just like watched some stuff online, and I saw that combo, and I was like, "Yo, this is sick! I'm gonna play this character."
Yeah,
and here I am.
That's in my opinion how you pick your first character of sorts.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, when you get further into competitive play and learn about tier lists and who's good, who's bad, you feel inclined to pick a better character, a stronger character. Though not just because of that, but also when you realize you have limited options with the character you first chose. Then you might switch to what you say, like Palu, Joker, Warrior, whatever, some top tier and ultimate. You get more options. Your odds of winning are simply higher.
Yeah, of course.
But like I can see this concept, and I think it's important to consider such things. But for me, it never clicked with another character. It was simply K. Rool works. He was rather bad at the start. Then he got buffed in 7.0, I think was the biggest one. And ever since then, he's been, well, pretty much perfect to me. Like, I do not feel like I'm at a disadvantage because I'm playing K. Rool.
That's a great thing, actually. Like, it's the same for a lot of people, right? Because, like, okay, so again, I can take myself as an example because, like, I've seen fucking Meta Knight bottom 4 in tier lists and shit like that, which is ridiculous, but, you know, people think he's bad, so go figure. I'm just going along with it. And, like, I had character crisis, like, multiple of them, but I can never switch off of my bad character, if you want to call it that, simply because I don't feel like he's bad, right? So it kind of sounds like you have a similar, well, not problem. It's working out for you, right? It's working greatly.
It's working out perfectly for me. Like, a lot of people tell me if I could pick a better character, then I would perform even better. But I don't know. I don't feel like I'm limited by my character choice. Not at all.
Do you?
If it were the case, I would switch, of course. But so
Mhm.
far, it works out. No
Yeah.
problems really.
And that's actually like that's literally the main topic I'm kind of interested in because like again you've been performing super well before the lockdown came. Like you're a top 10 PR candidate probably, at least in like the
Well,
how
from
you
the
call it.
Corona PR, I was like uh, placing 19 to 21 or something. So
Well, yeah, but like
I wouldn't
just
go that high.
imagine if like tournaments or like offline tournaments would have been around for this entire time and you would have just gone like messing up people with K rule and shit like that. Like
Yeah, maybe.
you're a serious threat in Germany. Like actually, so personally, I feel, and especially because again, you play like the heavyweight in like Smash Ultimate, right? Because you can't really call Bowser, you can't really call DK a
Oh,
heavyweight. They're weird, but like
well, Bowser's too fast and DK is too
yeah,
floaty.
yeah, you just play the most heavyweight character you can play in Ultimate. And you're performing like pretty good, so what do you think is kind of the reason for that? Because obviously it's skill, right? Because if you're bad, you're not performing well. It's pretty easy.
Not
But
not only not only
not
that.
only okay.
I have thought about this a lot as well. Like,
Mm-hmm.
why did I start performing better? Because I've been playing since release, and I've had better performances in the beginning. Then it dropped a bit, and then it got better again. And I was like,
Mm-hmm.
why is that? What's the reason? And apart from skill, I think one of the most important aspects is simply confidence and believing in yourself,
Okay.
and not losing your cool while playing. Because in
Mm-hmm.
the beginning, I didn't play K. Rool, I played Incineroar, and I placed decently. It was all right. Then I got into this whole, my character is bad. I need something better. So I played around with Bowser, with Wolf. I did not know which character to pick. And
Mm-hmm.
whenever I lost a set, and whenever I lost a game, whenever I lost a stock, I was like, could I have played this better with another character?
Yeah,
Should I counter
exactly.
pick? Should
Exactly.
I play it as another one? Always these thoughts. It's really, it was holding me back a lot
Mm-hmm.
because I could never focus on the mistakes I made and try to be better. I only ever focus on maybe this character would be better, or maybe this matchup is bad, or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I
And then,
think
like, uh, in about around January last year, it was when I picked up K. Rool and it was like, I'm gonna play K. Rool. I'm gonna only play K. Rool, nothing else.
mm-hmm.
And you know what changed? When
You
I
got
lost,
better.
yes, yes, yeah, ultimately, but like when I lost the stock, when I lost a game, I could think about what to do better.
Mm-hmm.
I could think about my character, his options, and how he can do better, how I need to adapt.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's something I was missing before because I'm always like, maybe I should switch. Maybe I'm playing a bad character. It's, therefore, whatever. You should believe in yourself and your character. Like
Absolutely.
I'm, I sometimes get called delusional for like my views on K. Rool and matchup charts and stuff like that. Like I've had a speculative matchup chart going viral on Twitter where I was
I saw
like
that one.
framed as a total lunatic for my opinions. Yeah.
Crown has armor.
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
Like the matchup chart was made in 2 minutes, whatever. Uh, but the point behind it is, if you thoroughly and truly believe your character has a good matchup against every other character in the game, and you lose, you can't blame it on the matchup. You
Yeah,
can't blame it
exactly.
on your
That's the
character.
thing, right? And I feel like you see this a lot, right? Just with especially new players or players who kind of like didn't quite catch on to just how to get better, right? And they've been stuck like going 2-0, 1-2, stuff like that, basically. And you just see these huge rosters of like, yeah, I play this character and this, and I secondary this guy, and so on and so forth. And these are usually some of the most toxic people I've seen. Not calling people who play a lot of characters toxic, of course, but generally, it's a correlation you can make, right? And I feel it's exactly because, yeah, because of the stuff you said, right? because you don't start asking what did I do wrong. You start saying, oh, nah, my character's bad, this game is trash, etc. And you kind of start looking for excuses, because that's kind of what all counter picks are, right? Like, I have a CP Palutena because I think Meta Knight is just garbage in some matchups, or just not worth it. So I should myself just play Meta Knight in those matchups. I should just do it, not gonna lie.
Yes, probably. It
Yeah.
would be better. You would improve faster, in my opinion.
Yeah, of course.
Then you
But
just focus on your character. Because seriously, nothing is more dangerous than an absolute character expert who has figured out every single matchup, every single
yeah,
smallest interaction. These are really dangerous players, no matter which character. They could play
yeah,
the worst character in the game. They will still be dangerous. Maybe not consistent because the character has a bad matchup spread,
yeah.
but they will be dangerous.
But
At least.
the thing is, people just go for results. They just go for results. They play Smash and they go to tournaments because they want to see their name like in the number 2 spot, in the number 1 spot. Is that the wrong approach to playing Smash, in your opinion?
Yes. Yes, it absolutely is, because it's something I used to do, and I used to stress myself over placing well and performing well. And I always got into a tournament with the expectation I should be placing this or this well.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something I focused on all the time. In every match, I was like, oh, I need to win this. I need to win the first round because I'm better than my opponent. I'm
Yeah.
higher seeded than him. I should be winning.
But
And
it's
that's
like,
something.
it
It's not
doesn't matter.
productive at all.
Yeah, exactly. You either win or you lose, and you just gotta take that.
Yes. And when it comes down to it, we all have a certain skill level in Smash.
Mm-hmm.
Or rather, we have a skill area. We have a
Yeah.
skill, the highest point of our skill and the lowest point of our skill. And
Mm-hmm.
somewhere in between this area, that's where we are. But we never know when we play, are we currently playing at our best or at our worst? We don't know. It's just our skill. But the
Yeah,
skill does
exactly.
not get influenced by us putting some weird expectations on ourselves on how well we should be performing. That doesn't matter.
Yeah, exactly.
Instead, what we should be focusing on is just doing our best. Simply as that, actually.
Yeah. I mean,
something for me, how that worked out is because I started having fun. I started having fun in at tournaments.
that's the goal, right? Isn't that the
Yeah.
goal? Yeah.
Like, it's not only the goal, it's in my opinion also the best way to achieve the goal of placing well and having fun. Like, you have fun to have fun. That sounds weird, but
yeah.
what I mean is, when you fun itself is simply having enjoying the act of solving a puzzle or creating something and so on.
Mm-hmm.
So you are given a task, and when you enjoy solving this task, you're having fun.
Yeah.
Which also means you usually solve the task in a better way. And that's the same when playing Smash, when playing a tournament match. When you're having fun, you don't focus on this was cheap, this was stupid, this was bad, and so
Yeah.
on. No, you only focus on what you're enjoying. You have a positive mindset all around when you simply laugh. Like, this is the weirdest advice I always give everyone: laugh more.
Yeah,
Like,
it's true though. Positivity breeds more positivity, right?
Yes,
that's the thing.
Exactly. Like, I was told I overdo it a bit at times. Like, I'm the type of guy who laughs when my opponent SDs.
Oh no. Okay.
I know it's a bit toxic, but I don't know. Oftentimes, it is better to laugh it off and shrug it off, because then, what is the other way to go? He SDs and you're like, now I feel bad. I didn't deserve that win.
Doesn't matter. It doesn't
doesn't
matter, right?
at all.
Yeah.
Just laugh it off, have fun, focus on that. Do not focus on other things. You can focus on it afterwards, after the match. But during the match, I would say just laugh, have fun, enjoy yourself, no matter what.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, that's kind of why we started playing Smash in the first place, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So
it's something most people forget
keep going
about.
with that. Yeah, I know. And like, one of the biggest things is like, just think about school, right? Back in school, when you always had this one teacher, or at your workplace, right? You always have this one colleague who's just the biggest dickhead, and you just can't work with them, right? and it just makes work miserable. But on the other hand, if you have a good teacher, if you have a good mentor, if you have somebody you like working with, it's way more fun. You're more productive, etc. And it's literally scientifically proven, right? So why not apply that to Smash as well? And I actually love that mindset. It's so good. It's so
Yes.
important, and everybody misses it.
It's all about passion, really. When
Yeah.
you're passionate about something, people around you get passionate about it.
Like, damn, I'm so passionate about this. I'm like, you can't even fucking see me correctly because I'm so unsharp. Like, that's my passion right now.
Oh well.
No,
But yeah, it's something I would tell, especially players who, when you feel bad after losing, you know that when you get angry,
yeah,
when you get upset.
everybody knows that.
Yes, and for me, there are two ways to go about it. First, it would be stop playing. That's a hard thing to do, but when you're playing at the moment online because nothing else works, when you get upset while playing, stop, calm
Yeah,
down, try again a bit later. No shame in it, just do it. And the other way is try to focus on what you enjoy about it. It's not about winning a match. Winning is rather a side effect of having fun while playing, for me at least.
yeah,
Like I try to focus on the enjoyable things. Like in before one tournament, I was like, my goals for today aren't let's beat this guy, but beat this guy placed as well. It was like I want to hit this combo, I want to hit this confirm, and I want to spike 3 people or something.
yeah.
I
I
could
mean,
focus on that.
it's just random stuff, but it's fun. It makes you like again. It makes you laugh. Like just
Yes.
spiking somebody twice at 0 with Mario or something. Like just forward that twice in a row, and you just did that. Just throw your controller up or some bullshit like that. It's so fun, man.
Yes, and that's what you should be focusing about. Why do we play Smash? As you said, to have fun. Why do so many people forget about it? I
Yeah,
see so many people get upset at tournaments when they lose, get upset while playing friendlies even. It doesn't I don't get it.
yeah.
I mean,
Especially because
I was there myself, but why? Why would you forget about it?
yeah, it's weird.
Yeah.
And I think like just like we're basically only talking about mindset right now, which is super good in my opinion because it's something that never really gets talked about, or if it does, it's just like yeah, you gotta work on your mindset, and then people dip, and you just stand there like yeah, okay, but what the fuck do I do, right? But like this is the single most important thing you can achieve as a player. Just taking stuff as it happens and just laughing it off, just dealing with it and not getting toxic because you're essentially just wasting your time. And
Yes.
if you do want to get toxic, at least do it in a game where you don't get like $10 for winning a 300-man tournament or something like that. Go play Street Fighter or go play League or something like that. Man, Smash is really not worth it to be that toxic, in my opinion.
Well, yeah, nobody. I don't think anybody plays Smash for money or something. It's just
Nah.
not a thing.
Oh, shit. Well, we got a lot of viewers. Thanks, guys. By the way, you can also chat, right? If you want to ask Raphy some questions or if you want to complain about my camera quality, just chat. Like,
Alright.
damn, I could be mad about this right now, right? The stream is looking like the stream setup is looking like fucking trash right now because just some random shit stopped working. Then my camera looks garbage. Then I was like, during the stream, during the start, I was like still cutting off some of your black edges and shit like that. But man, who cares? It's fun.
It doesn't matter. Work with the conditions you're given.
Man,
Move along.
they already got better mic quality. My new mic arrived today, so I can do this now. They can't complain, man. But yeah, this is like so important. How like you already said you had mindset problems back in the day, like kind of everybody had. How did you get out of that? Because you don't just say, "Oh, I'm gonna be super optimistic now," and bam, you're suddenly optimistic. No, it's work, right? You gotta grind it off, basically.
Yes. For me, it was basically I forced myself to view things differently, to have more fun. Like it was more of an fake it till you make it attitude, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
Like I forced myself to laugh things off, to have more fun, to enjoy it, until I actually started enjoying them more. without having to remind myself that I maybe should be doing it. Like, this may sound weird, but like, yeah, as I said, I forced myself to have more fun. I forced myself to
I
laugh. I
mean, it
forced
kind of
myself to
makes
focus
sense,
on
right?
other stuff.
W-
It's
w-
like you can train yourself to have a habit. It's
yeah,
something, a very fundamental aspect of self-improvement. You, when you practice something every day, it becomes a habit. It's like with everything, with eating habits, training habits, whatever. And it's the same applies to Smash. You
yeah,
can
of course.
train your mindset exactly the same way as you train your own habits with your character. It's actually quite interchangeable when I think about it.
Something I always find really funny is when people go competitive in anything, they forget to apply just regular logic and everyday stuff they do everywhere else. But they do it everywhere except in their competition, like in their field of expertise. They just forget about it. And I find that super funny because you're basically an expert in what you do, right? But you're at the same time one of the most retarded people ever because you just don't use logic. It's ridiculous, and I don't know what causes it.
Yeah, it's a sort of tunnel vision you get when you think of it as something separate from your entire life. Like, this is my normal life. This is where I train and improve, and this is where I myself belong. And this other thing is Smash. This is where I'm a totally different person. Where everything works differently, and nothing about this whole idea makes sense.
But no, it doesn't. It doesn't at all. It's still you playing Smash, right? So as long as you personally are doing something, you can apply everything, every single bit of logic you know about yourself. Like
Yes.
just it's it's that simple. But man, people do forget about that. But like one of the reasons I really like your attitude is because so many people, especially like in Bavaria, right, where I'm from, just go to
Me too.
tournaments. They just go to tournaments because they want to have fun, right? They want to meet their friends, they want to hang out, and that's that's a really similar attitude to kind of what you have going on, right? You just go play Smash because you want to have fun. They go to tournaments because they want to have fun with their friends, right? And I'm I'm pretty fortunate to be in this region because it's really nice, especially for newer people, because you don't get this one random toxic guy who's just like who slams you and then goes, haha, fuck you, or some bullshit like that. Because
But that'd be fun.
everybody is just nice over here, and it's pretty sad to see other scenes like kind of get drawn into this like downward spiral of people just being dickheads to each other and stuff like that. And I feel like players could really use some of your mindset and just like take some of that for themselves. I'll be back
Well,
in just a second. It's already just screamed, so I'll be back.
All right.
Dang, I'm sorry about that.
No problem.
That's the problem when you're still well. I'm not underage anymore, but I literally just turned 18, so I obviously still live at home. So this sometimes happens. You know the drill. I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, no problem. Nothing to be sorry about, really.
I mean, man, we're already talking about laughing it off, so who cares? Man, I haven't had this much fun on the stream yet. This is really cool.
But I mean, I always try my best to kind of spread this kind of attitude.
Yeah,
Like,
of course, it's working.
I want people around me to have fun.
It's working
This is
though.
important to me.
Actually, that kind of leads into another thing, right? You want people to have fun, but at the same time, you play a character that just randomly robs people. Like, how do you how do you deal with people actually just going toxic on you? Like, just imagine it, like Grand Finals Game 3, right? And they just get spiked at 0 and just die randomly. Like, what do you tell these people? Because you can't just like you at that point you can't just say haha and like laugh at them.
Oh, you don't know me if you think that.
Okay.
I
Dang.
mean, it has happened before.
Oh no.
At HTS, I would say it was
Oh,
HTS
I think I
Ultimate
remember. Was that
against
against?
Cranky Machine.
Oh no, I saw that. I was live there. I saw. Oh no. He SD'd.
Yeah, no, he didn't SD. I killed him at 0 with a reverse counter.
Oh, yeah, right. That was it. Oh,
Yeah.
damn. I saw that.
During the set, I think it was twice or something.
Yeah, I saw that.
Like, it was a super janky set, and he was really, really upset afterwards. He was screaming, what was he saying again? Like, I don't know anymore. But I know he was really upset.
Dang.
And I don't know. I probably should have reacted in a better way, but back then I laughed. I laughed so hard and slapped my hand on my thigh until it hurt. Like I was.
Oh, damn.
I don't know. I don't know how to react differently. Really, it
Okay.
was extremely funny.
Yeah, it was. Not for Kranke Maschine, though.
But why should I hold myself back then? I mean, the same also applies the other way around. When
Yeah.
I get destroyed, when I get 0 to death, like there was a moment during the last tournament in Switzerland, Saint Smash it was.
Oh, yeah.
At one point, Destiny 0 to death me with Terry off of one hit, and was a completely true combo.
Was that the one I saw on Twitter with the double up air?
Probably. I think he posted it. Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
Like
Oh,
destroyed
you.
me, a complete 0 to death. And you know what I thought in that moment? Damn, that was pretty cool.
Nice.
I think in the stream I only nodded my head because I was a bit too focused to break away into laughter. But
Yeah.
I did not feel bad. I really enjoyed it. I found it very interesting and funny and cool.
That is amazing, actually.
We're not playing Smash 4 anymore where we have BIOS 0 to deathing everyone.
Yeah.
That shit was awful, okay?
Yeah.
But now,
I agree.
when somebody gets a 0 to death in this game, sometimes it just happens. It doesn't usually define the outcome of the whole match. So whatever. It's cool.
You don't have a Meta Knight in your region, do you?
I have played against Meta Knights. I know it's a bad matchup for my character specifically, but I see no reason to get upset at him 0 to deathing me. I can only shrug it off. I can laugh it off. I can say, "Damn, that was some good execution. That worked well. Gotta watch out for dash attack and this combo starter more." Good. All right.
Yeah.
I have no reason to get upset. I can find it amusing. I can find it funny. The other guy is probably really happy that he pulled that off.
Oh man, I remember that back in the day, like little small boy Luna, right? Just at tournaments with like 16 years old. And I got a letter, and just during a set, I just popped up and ran around the table and shit like that. Just whee! I got a ladder combo.
Perfect. Sounds awesome.
Yeah. And now I get people like just getting like throwing their controller as I dash attack them, basically just damn, and I'm just like.
For that aspect, if we're talking about 0 to death or unfair tactics and so on, there are a lot of characters in this game who can kill you at 0.
Everybody can theoretically.
Well, I mean, like true combos, which you can't do anything against. But it isn't as over centralized in this game. It's not like these characters are incredibly overpowered simply because of their 0 to deaths.
Yeah.
Like, look at Luigi or Ice Climbers, characters who can kill you off of 0 if they get in once. But to compensate for that, they're super slow and have a lot of trouble getting in.
Yeah.
So you can still play a normal game against them. You don't have to be like, this is an awfully boring or uninteresting matchup simply because he kills way too quickly. But it doesn't matter. It's his win condition. And my win condition in this game, in this case, is to wall him out. It's, in my opinion, this is pretty well balanced. It doesn't matter.
Yes and no. The thing is, you of course, like you play K. Rool, right? I personally think K. Rool has a pretty balanced kit. Like you can do a lot of stuff with him. But if you look at other characters, like let's say, who's a good example outside of Meta Knight? Like just think of Bowser Jr., right? Or just characters who are a bit more centralized, like especially against Luigi, or if you play a precision character, right? And you play somebody like Ken or Terry, and they just unga bunga your way and just like fling themselves at you, and you try to keep them out and do something, and you like get them with a random hit, and they reverse it on you and deal 50% or something. It's frustrating, right? But It's a very difficult topic in my opinion.
Frustrating is. I
It's
also have
subjective.
frustrating matchups. I have matchups, or not right now at the moment, but I usually get a hate matchup from time to time.
Mm-hmm.
Like for me, it used to be Snake. I used to have trouble with Ken and some others. Anyways,
Mm-hmm.
when I notice I have a matchup I hate, I think to myself that maybe I just don't know enough about them.
Yeah,
Because what makes you hate a matchup is when you see something, perceive something as cheap or broken or way too overpowered. But is it really?
balanced. We
Yes,
have a
it's
balanced
really
team, right?
balanced. This game is really, really balanced. We have some top tiers who are very, very strong, of course.
Yeah, that's normal.
Uh, but still, when you hate a matchup, in my opinion, it's usually just a lack of knowledge about this character.
Most of the time, yeah.
Like for me, it was Snake for the longest time. I had really big trouble playing against Snake.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, then I started focusing on this matchup exclusively. I theory crafted this matchup. I played against players who know him well, and so on. I really just focused on this matchup for so long until I got good at it. Now I don't hate it anymore. I enjoy it a lot actually by now.
Yeah.
Like uh, the secret is, I learned that with K. Rool you simply have to camp Snake.
Well, that's what people like find boring, right? So it is tricky.
Well, yes, but it can be fun. Like
Yeah, of course.
camping, a camping walk can still be very, very enjoyable. For example, I love playing against Isabel. I enjoy playing
Dang.
against like where this player from Switzerland, Jaka, who has an amazing Isabel,
Yeah,
and I
I
love
know that.
playing against him. It's really a slow match usually because he's
Mm-hmm.
like walling me out very effectively and have a lot of trouble getting in. It's really hard, but it's enjoyable
Yeah, you kind
because
of
it's
just
like
gotta like go along with it and just
yes,
yeah.
you start playing the game along with him, and for me, I have a sort of attitude that's like it's kind of like a boss fight in a video in a or in any other video game.
Mm-hmm.
The boss has more tools than you. The boss has attack patterns and so on. But you can weave in and get your hits one by one. Just do it, and then no matter how frustrating the boss usually may be, once you get used to it all, it starts getting fun, a
Yeah,
lot of fun
that's
because it's
actually a
a
really
puzzle.
good analogy.
And that's the same with, for example, the Isabel matchup.
Mm-hmm.
I started noticing things I shouldn't do and things I should do more. And now it's still a slow match, but I feel myself making progress with every step I take,
Mm-hmm.
and that's enough. Like, why is something a slow match? Um, a lot of people perceive it as when an opponent is very passive, like you dash towards them and all they do is go away, jump away, do not interact with you.
Mm-hmm.
And then you feel like, this is slow, they're camping me, this is not fun. But there is interaction happening. When you
Yeah.
approach them, they need to react. And when you can dictate the way they react to your approach, well, you're first of all in control, and second of all, you're
Yeah.
playing the game.
Yeah, of course.
This is also something I don't believe in camping. Like, I don't see it as something as over centralized as a lot of people say. Like,
Yeah, totally.
this Samus is camping me on Wi-Fi. I can't do shit. Well, is she really?
She's moving
What?
herself into the corner, right?
Yes, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
That's the
Mm-hmm.
point. Like when the match starts and they back off into the corner, or like a Weaver trainer who goes to the ledge and spam side B at you, stuff like that. Do not see it as they're camping me. See it as, oh hey, they gave me free stage control.
Yeah, exactly. That's actually what I started doing as well, and it's just a lot more fun that way, right?
Yes, because there's always interaction happening.
Yeah.
And the moment you start to realize that, you do not focus on are they camping me or is it fun, is it not fun, whatever. When there's always interaction and always something you can influence, you're playing the game.
Yeah.
You're having fun.
That my voice is cracking up a lot right now. I might actually steal that analogy because that's gonna be great for some people I know. So
Yeah,
that was huge, man. That was really good. Like that, just thinking about it like a boss fight, especially because like people always or not always, but often just go in and think like, yeah, they're gonna play well now and shit like that. But you gotta figure out what's going on first. You can't just go in there and say, oh, I'm gonna beat them up, which completely leads back to the stuff you said beforehand, with people saying, oh, I need to play well because I'm better than my opponent, so I have to win this, right? And that's just the wrong approach. Just go in, figure out what's going on, just play the game, and what happens happens. Like you thinking you're better won't change anything, right? So just focus on the game instead.
And also, what goes along with that is the aspect of being challenged.
Mhm.
Like, the better you get, the more you realize that playing against someone who you simply, who you're actually way better against, it's not exactly fun.
Yeah.
It's not fun for either side usually, but that's all right. You gotta have someone near to your skill level to enjoy something. And for me, what I enjoy most is playing against someone who's better than me,
Mhm.
because then something is challenging. And when you overcome a challenge, for me at least, that's the most fun. Like, I don't want to make a Dark Souls analogy, but
Oh
like
man,
that.
I've also been holding back on those.
But yeah, kind of like that. When something is very challenging, overcoming it is all the more enjoyable.
Yeah.
And that's the same thing with playing Smash or like playing a bad matchup. I mean, you're playing a matchup which you know is bad, but you're very good at the matchup. That's enjoyable. You're overcoming a challenge.
Mm.
Like for me, the most enjoyable matchups in this game have turned out to be K.Rool's worst matchups.
That's actually crazy, man.
I mean, I know that's like really, really weird.
No, it makes sense though, right? Like
That's
you're
most interesting.
you're competing because you like challenges, right? That's basically the reason why you play a one-on-one fighting game.
Yes.
But you just forget that sometimes. Which again, it's just something that's super funny to me because it's just logical, right? You play against other people, you play offline, you play in tournaments, you want to challenge yourself, you want to find out who the better player is, and then you don't like playing challenges? Excuse me? I don't believe you.
Yes. It's kind of a simple concept, but
yeah.
it gets overlooked way too much.
But man, this is so much insight. People, use this. It's so important, man. Especially because like I coach people. In case you didn't know, I've started out officially coaching like on my own about 3 months ago or something like that. And one of the biggest problems I had was coaching people with bad mindsets because like what am I supposed to tell them? I can only tell them, yo, just try to think positively, but they don't know how to, right? And just having analogies like that, having the stream, even if again, like it's looking a bit weird, the content is there, right? So just having someone else that's not me, like say the same things basically, and just say, yo, view it like this. Just don't worry about it too much. Is so important, man. And I hope I can spread this first of all because, like, man, I like cloud. Everybody likes cloud, and second of all, it'll help people. It's so important, man. But
there's also another aspect I would like to talk.
Oh yeah, of course.
About regarding tier list placings and character choices, because it's something. You have picked your character. Your opponent has picked their character. Past this point, it's all about how do they fare against each other and playing the game, what we discussed before. But there's also an analogy I use for myself regarding this, the whole picking your character thing. Like, for example, when you're playing a really bad character, I don't want to.
Just say Ganondorf.
I really want to use Ultimate for that. Okay. Let's just say a generic bad character who's like really, really bad, who has big losing matchups against the entire cast. This is basically like going into an actual fight, but with a toothpick. And your opponent,
Are you
they have a
saying
gun.
Meta Knight?
Their opponent has a gun.
Yeah.
Your goal is to beat someone with a gun holding a toothpick. Obviously, that's not gonna work.
Oh man.
But you chose the toothpick. That was your weapon of choice. You have no right, absolutely no right, to complain about this toothpick not being good enough.
Yeah.
This is with the whole character balance thing. When people play bad characters and they always say like, maybe you should buff that, maybe they should buff that, or I can't get in because my character lacks this or that. It doesn't matter. You chose the character. You can
Yeah.
always pick a different character. But once you have it, make the best of it. Right? It doesn't matter if it's a toothpick, a dagger, a sword, a gun, whatever. Just make use of it. Maybe you can
Yeah.
find a creative way to use them.
Yes, this is the Smash podcast. Well, it's more so a like general fighting game podcast, but we mainly have Smash players on here, so go figure. Yeah. So in case you don't know, this is Raphy.
Well, mindset issues, it's something you can apply to basically anything.
Yeah.
Like not just fighting games, not just sports, not just anything with competition. You can even extend it beyond that, though it's mainly focused on things that you compete in. But it's a very, very general concept of just self-betterment, working with the tools you're given, and making the best of it.
Yeah, that's kind of everything, in my opinion, right? Vibes.
Yes.
I'm glad you're enjoying it, man. Like, essentially, you're living a competition, right? Like, it's a fight for jobs. It's a fight for, like, getting the last roll of toilet paper, etc. So, you apply it in real life. You apply it everywhere else. You don't apply it in Smash. We already talked how, like, that is completely weird and useless, kind of. Just do it everywhere, right? And yeah, I think again, like I keep repeating myself, but people need to do this more. Like, yeah, I could literally, I should really make a video of me just for 10 hours saying, "Yo, don't be so hard on yourself. Just do the thing. Just do the thing. Just over and over again." Yeah, I feel like this has been really, really good so far. Usually I do make a cut after like half an hour, 1 hour, but if you want to, if we get enough like stuff to talk about, we can totally keep going because this is going like swimmingly so far.
It's alright.
Perfect. So talking about losing matchups, because this is gonna get interesting now. You already said this, like we just talked about losing matchups, toothpick against gun, right? How do you personally learn losing matchups? Because the main goal is essentially to start having fun and being challenged, right? In your opinion. So you kind of start off being a bit frustrated, right? Because otherwise you wouldn't even have to overcome that challenge, kind of. So how do you go about that, actually? Because
I'm not even sure if I would go with frustrated anymore. Like, I think it's been quite a while since I've been frustrated by bad matchups.
Not bad.
Usually for me, it's like I see something, I learn a matchup, I play against someone who knows the character really well, and I start to figure out, okay, this is really strong, this works really well against my character specifically, and so on. And for me, it's really just being presented with a puzzle and slowly figuring it out. The next step then would be applying this to the game plan. Like usually, what makes matchups is specific interactions and things you're allowed or not allowed to do. Like for example, the Bio matchups, Bayonetta. Bayonetta against any heavyweight is pretty hard for them because her combos, which you can SCI in different various ways, which she may or may not react to. It's getting too specific. Either way, Bio can usually perform longer and better combos on heavyweights than she can on smaller frame characters.
Yeah.
Like for K-Rool, it's not uncommon to get 0 to death by a Bio. It happens. But why does it happen? It happens usually when I get hit by a combo starter at low percent at the ledge. So I may have to look out. I may have to look out for that. Or rather, I may have to look out not getting not going into the disadvantaged state altogether and focus extremely on the neutral play. Like for Bio again, Bio has a hard time dealing with shields.
Yeah. Abusive.
So yes, and she can usually get in a lot when you jump too much, which is also the same with the Palu matchup. Like so many people hate the Palu matchup, and so far I've had no trouble with it.
No, it's one of my favorite matchups, and I actually come to think that Meta Knight actually beats Palutena. Because
That's the attitude.
it's weird. I don't want to get into that right now, but I do have my reasons.
Well, I mean, I'm like, I still can't see why K. Rool loses to Palu, but everyone says it, so I should be wrong.
Yeah.
Either way, about bad matchups and what not to do. A lot of the time, your matchup is only bad because you don't play it right.
Yeah, that's true.
Simply. Like how I said with the Snake matchup before. When you play K. Rool against Snake, and all you do is approach him with aerials or grounded, with grabs, with dash attacks.
Get up tilted, get down tilted over and over again. It's not
and
working.
You run into grenades.
Yeah.
And all of the grenades, you eat way too much damage and you die.
Yeah.
It doesn't work. But are you playing it correctly? Can you say the matchup is bad when you're playing it incorrectly?
Not really, right? It's the same against Terry. That's like the best example, probably. People always bitch about Terry. But, like, what does he have, right? He has close range options that are measurable but close range. Little disjoint apart from F tilt. He has aerials that aren't particularly disjointed either. He does have big damage, but his neutral also isn't the greatest. He's just pressing buttons. How do you beat that? You just space. You just space around and shit. It's easy. Well, easy, right? It's not easy, right? Otherwise people wouldn't bitch. But that's a clear solution. You just space, you just slow down, you don't run into the shit. You just don't press buttons first. It's that easy if you want to double that, but I feel that, again, just the whole I want to do cool stuff ego thing gets in the way of that, and you start running into him again. And it all goes downhill, and then you think, oh no, I'm bad again.
And that's also the thing when you coin a matchup as bad before even figuring it out. Like you start by, yes, this is a -2 matchup. Let's talk about why it is a -2 matchup.
You're just drowning at that point.
Yes, it doesn't work. Like it's always the same thing when you look at character discords and them discussing matchups.
Mm-hmm.
The first thing when any matchup comes up is it a -2 matchup? Is it a -1 matchup? Is it a +2 matchup? You always have to put a number on it. Why? I really don't get it. You should start by figuring out what's the win condition of either side. How do they play neutral? How do they play advantage? How many interactions do they need to win to take a stock? And then you can go from there.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of that's things. To get back to your beginning question, how do you deal with bad matchups? I do not see them as bad matchups until I have figured them out completely.
But when have you figured them out completely, though?
Never.
Yeah, see, it's easy. It's easy.
Like, I really don't like doing matchup charts. I don't feel confident judging any. This wasn't a matchup. This was like 2 minutes long. It was based off of something someone else made. I made it also as a joke to see like how would people react and so on. It was very amusing to me.
Okay.
So far, I have not put out an actual matchup chart. It's
not
something I feel confident to do.
Like I've been playing for like competitively, if you want to call it that, for 6 years by now. Although the first like 3 years were kind of down the drain because like the next local was 3 hours away or something like that. But I still consider myself competitive, right? And I haven't made one single matchup chart or any chart like that ever to this day because I still don't feel comfortable talking about every single character in that regard. And that's also partly because I do know myself that I'm not as good as I probably think I am, and that I by far haven't figured out the game as much as I should have by this point, probably. So just take it slow. You'll figure it out at some point, right?
Yes, and that I'd say it's the perfect attitude to go along with it.
And
always think of yourself as knowing less than you probably do.
Well, it's true. Do you know the Dunning-Kruger effect?
Yes.
Yeah. I have a picture, like a PNG saved, and I just slide that into DMs or like into Smash GG conversations every now and then if somebody is pissing me off. I'm just like, look at this thing real quick. But it's so true.
It's a general thing. You should always be open-minded and try to learn and try to understand more. Which, as I said, it's also what comes down to matchups. Do not start out a matchup by saying, I lose this matchup. Let's figure out why I lose this matchup. No.
Just figure it out, and then you can say if you lose or win.
Yes, exactly. Just start working on it. Look at all the options you have. Like something I find really interesting is how my view on the Terry or Ken or Rio, I guess, as well matchup changed. Because I figured something out with K. Rool in this matchup, which I've never seen a lot of people do, or like nobody really. Which is that K. Rool can ledge camp these characters.
Everybody can ledge camp these characters.
Yes, they can't hit your ledge hang.
Yeah. Oh wait, that's what you need. What do you mean? Wait,
Yes.
what?
Yes, K. Rool have among the best ledge hangs in the game.
Like, yeah, right.
It's on par with Ganon's.
Oh, okay. Well, then...
And for example, in the Terry matchup, all he can hit your ledge hang with is landing fair and power geyser.
Those are super reactable.
Yes, one is only above 100%, and fair leads into nothing. Yeah. Like he can hit you 400 times with fair, you won't die. You are at 500% at this point, but nothing happens. Which means you can chill at the ledge forever.
Nice.
Yes, this changes the whole matchup.
Yeah, of course.
You survive so much longer when you simply know, I can wait here. He can't harm me.
I actually didn't know that. That's kind of funny.
Yes, a very specific thing. But it's something you figure out when you look at every single possible interaction a matchup can give you.
Yeah, K. Rool is always scary to play against. That's, again, we discussed that earlier, actually. How, like, Raphy basically has the super positive attitude while playing a character that just randomly trashes you. That's just kind of what he does, and you kind of just gotta get used to that.
It's part of the character.
Yeah,
for me, it's I always expect to get one good kill, like not exactly every match, but every now and then, and it's part of what makes the character strong, in my opinion. Simply, you do not need a lot of hits, and you will get early kills. You will get them. It's part of the character. It's not something that randomly happens. It's something that happens specifically with this character.
Also, damn, for whatever reason, my follow ping and shit like that stopped working out, so I totally missed it. But thanks so much for the follow backpack. I legit didn't, like, it didn't pop up, and I don't know why, so I'm sorry for that. About that. I'll fix that until next stream. But I appreciate it. God damn, today, like, everything is falling apart, man. Who cares? Okay, he's talking about Crown. Okay, what's your Crown opinion, man? He said Crown can be used extremely well in many matchups.
Well, yes, it can.
Give us the stuff.
I mean, I could probably hold a whole lecture about Crown, but basically, to break this entire move down from me, it's this move is a counter.
Oh no!
Like, I see this move as a counter move. You use Crown in either when your opponent is miles away and he can't punish it, then it's a projectile. But otherwise, it's a counter. You use it when your opponent does anything but shield.
Yeah, and if they do shield and then try to do anything else.
For example, like I had to learn a lot of I simply had to learn which moves break armor, which don't. And then when I expect a specific move or landing area or something to hit, I know I can use a Crown to counter it. This is how the move works for me. It's simply a counter projectile. Like, the other aspect of it is it eats up a lot of projectiles in the game, and you can simply throw it out and counter them like that. But that's the same thing again. It's a counter projectile.
It's a projectile counter projectile.
Which also means when your opponent is very passive and simply waiting for you, you shouldn't throw Crown.
Yeah, it's that simple. It's pretty reactable at that point.
It's super reactable. Yeah, it's a frame 27 move with 63 frames in total.
Right. Okay, I didn't. I actually figured out recently that Meta Knight can down B Joker's A on reaction offline. So that means if they press not down B, side B, I mean. So yes. if they press side B at any point, I will legit just fucking cape them and kill them at 80.
And the thing is, you can do that when you wait for it, when you're very passive and not
Yeah,
locking yourself into specific moves.
that's again the whole interacting, even though you feel like you're not interacting thing, right?
Yes,
Just
yeah, that's
because I'm running
the same
away, it doesn't mean I'm not paying attention, right? So if you push me into the corner and then do something stupid, I will punish you for it. But if you don't do that stupid thing, I'll be in the corner and you'll now get free pressure. It's that
Yes,
simple. You just
and the strongest thing we have in this game is dashing back.
do we?
That's yes, that's why stage control is so super important because dashing away beats basically anything.
Well, that's true actually.
This is why stage
Interesting
control
view.
is so important
Mm-hmm.
because you can always go back, give up stage control, and your opponent won't hit you. Simple as that. But most of the time, it's obviously this is super simplified,
Yeah.
but it's a general concept.
Mm-hmm. No, I see it. I see.
Yeah. Though that was not what I wanted to go about. Actually, I wanted to talk one more thing about Crown, which is when your opponent starts playing passively and reacts to Crown more. This is basically where you want to go with this move
Mm-hmm.
because then they stop throwing out aerials or pressuring you too much. Now they wait for your laggy move to come out, and suddenly you are not, well, in turn, are not feeling the pressure that much, and you have more room to move yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So when it's about Crown and people tell me, yeah, Crown is bad, it's so slow, I can simply wait and react to it. Well, yes or no, because the move may be coming out on frame 27, but the armor starts on frame 6,
Oh wow. Okay.
which basically means, for me, this is a frame 6 counter.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you hit K rule somewhere starting after frame 6, well, he eats the damage and punishes you for it.
Yeah.
So the move is only pseudo slow.
Yeah.
That's
Kind of.
that's kind of how it works for me. So when the opponent then starts reacting to Crown and expecting it a bit too much, I
Yeah.
simply stop
Stop
using
using
it.
it. Yeah.
Exactly. And now I can freely use my forward air, which has way too much range. I can use my nair, which like counters everything.
Yeah.
Throw it up blunderbuss, which is also super slow, but once it's out, it's a lot of pressure.
Mm-hmm.
And this all works only because they have to expect and respect Crown.
It's about thinking outside the box, right? Because technically, every single move in this game is just a few balls slapped on top of each other that does damage and is out for like 5 frames or whatever. If you're Terry, you have like 300 frames active, but who cares? Um, like generally, that's all every move does, but you can make it work differently, right? And that's where kind of actually figuring out your character comes into play, right? Because the way the balls are kind of merged together and which direction they go completely dictates how the move can and will be used, right? So, like, Crown is a really good example for that. Or something else is look at nades. Imagine if nades would just explode on contact. There would be a completely different tool. There would just be projectile spam. But right now, it's completely different. Snake controls where you want to move with those grenades. He makes you run into C4. He makes you run into dash attack. He makes you jump into up tilt, etc. Grenades wouldn't work that way otherwise, and the whole character would be completely different. So
Yeah,
it's
uh,
super important.
and what you're describing is basically exactly the point where you need to get with Smash.
Mm-hmm.
Do not see hitboxes as the simple threat that they are, the area that they cover, but what they do with your opponent.
Mm-hmm.
Like the mere existence of specific moves, even without throwing them out, does something with your opponent. That's the point of playing neutral. That's the point of how you play your advantage, how you play your disadvantage, and so on. That's how you have to think about everything in this game. Always think about what does the existence of this and that move do with my opponent, and
Then
also the
that's
other way around.
that's where actual good play starts, in my opinion. In my opinion, if you know that, then you actually got somewhere already, and you are in a great spot to actually continue improving, in my opinion. Like from a coach's point of view, I usually have to teach people this because nobody kind of realizes it, right? But just imagine Meta Knight dash attack. You're at 20% and a Meta Knight is just standing in front of you, and you just stand there. Nobody, and you can't tell me anyone who will do that will just stand there. They will all grab their legs and just fling themselves out of there at the instant they see that spacing. And like it's pretty obvious. It's something like mental frame advantage. Like when you hit somebody and then you wait a bit and then just F smash them to hit that drop shield, for example. Stuff like that. It's super obvious, but you kind of don't realize it, right? Because you never think about that stuff.
Yeah, that's also something I like to do. Just waiting and throwing out a move with a different timing. It throws so many people off.
Yeah.
And also, if it doesn't throw them off, like if I stand in front of someone and they shield, and I do a super weird timing with an up tilt or down tilt, and it still hits their shield, then I know they are waiting for something to hit them.
Yeah,
They
then
are
just
slow.
run up and grab.
Yes, you can. This means you can do something slow. They will
Hmm.
not react until you've hit them with something.
Yeah, that too.
Like, for example, say you're hanging at the ledge and the opponent is standing above you, sitting in shield, jumping up with an aerial on shield, and they punish with nair out of shield.
Hmm.
Okay. But when they always wait for the first interaction to punish you with their nair out of shield, this means you can, for example, simply jump up and shield.
Yeah.
Because nothing will happen when you don't hit them. They will wait for an interaction. And if you don't give them this interaction, they will chill and shield for way too long.
Yeah.
Like
And that's beautiful shit.
this is something I try to view my opponent's playstyle as active or passive at all times. There are always these two states which can change at any moment.
Hmm.
But when I realize my opponent is currently playing passive or currently playing active, that's when I have to adapt mid-match.
Hmm. Also, we
For
just got.
example,
Oh,
again with ledge trapping, when you go for an active ledge trapping, you go for specific timings and cover specific things.
hmm.
When you go for passive ledge trapping, you simply wait and see what your opponent does to react to them.
Hmm.
And the one loses to the other. Like an active playstyle will usually lose against a passive playstyle. When
Hmm.
they cover specific things too quickly, you can wait it out. You can sit in shield, you can wait. If they wait for you to do something, you can play faster than them.
Yeah.
You can simply not interact or go around them. Do not give them the interaction they're looking for.
It's a game
Because
of
they will
rhythm.
not. Yes, exactly. They will not throw out something. They will wait for something. It's
Hmm.
always about this active and reactive playstyle, active and passive.
By the way, we just had a question coming in. What is the competitive scene like in Germany? You've been around more than I have been around. What's the competitive scene like?
Well, I've been not a bit around, so like a few tourneys,
I've literally
little
just been in
something.
Bavaria, so you already know more.
Okay, maybe a little bit, but I'm not too sure about how it's different from like the French scene, from the US scene, from the Japanese scene, because I'm not familiar with those as well.
Yeah, okay, that's
So
true.
I'm really not too sure how I would answer that. Mm,
I mean, we're not the worst players. We got pretty consistently above average players, in my opinion. Or like, we got a good amount of good players.
mm, well, yes. I find it. I
It's
find it
weird.
really to answer that. Yes, like I mean, the scene is where what I've experienced so far welcoming. They're fun to be around. I enjoy going to tournaments simply for
Hmm.
the people I meet again and again. Yeah, I've made friends at tournaments, which of course is way easier simply for the shared interest of Smash and so on. And I don't know, it's like what something I always notice about the toxicity and hate. That's something you don't see when you go to tournaments.
Yeah, kinda.
I have not experienced this in person with anyone so far at all.
I mean, that's a good thing, right? It's different in America. I know that. It's different in France as well because I know a few French people, and damn, their scene is sometimes heated. But Germany is really chill, actually.
Maybe that's the difference.
Like
We're
from
chill.
what I've heard, at least. Like again, I've also not been around too much, right? I can only go off of hearsay, but like I also have never had any bad experience. Like every tournament I went to was better than the last one, basically. Just it's so great being here, man. Actually, when I talked to Matt, I we also kind of went over the Bavarian and German scene a bit, and he actually said something similar, if I remember correctly. He like in terms of skill, he said we had a lot of like mediumly good players, right? Like around average, above average, which makes it really good for players to like get into mid level, get somewhere in mid level, but it's kind of hard to get out of high level because in Bavaria specifically, we have Beak, we have maybe people like Krankenmaschine, Sorgon, etc. And then it kind of stops. Then the others, I don't know if you want to consider them like super high level. I don't know. It's a bit tricky getting out of mid level in Bavaria, probably. But we have other scenes in Germany where there are people like Quick and shit who just.
Well, I mean, comparably, Bavaria is not exactly too big for a Smash scene. I think it's perfectly normal for them to not have the largest amount of high top level players and so on.
We have a lot of locals, though. I think we are probably the most dense area in Germany in terms of locals.
That's true. That's true. Yeah. So
awesome.
What you said that it's hard to get out of mid level. I think it's always hard to get out of mid level.
Yeah, of course, but like
no matter what, because you, in my opinion, you always need a high or top level player to play with in order to get on their level.
Yeah,
it's basically impossible to do that without playing them.
Yeah, transitioning between levels is hard.
Yes. And I'm not even sure what exactly is a low, a mid, or a high level. I have
nobody knows.
Everyone has their own definitions.
And now just wait for people going, yeah, mid-level players, do this. Pay attention to that while they like go O2 or some bullshit like that. Man, I was an O2 until like relatively recently, right? So I haven't gotten out of pools in at HTS once, right? Although like I mainly got better in the last year during lockdown, so go figure. But man, I was the same guy. I was just like, yeah, I'm good. No, don't worry. I'm not that good, but I'm good. I'm not mid-level, but I was mid-level. I was very mid-level. I'm still mid-level. I don't consider myself high-level at all. And yeah, I don't know. Well, where do you consider yourself actually? Like, there's no wrong answer.
Like,
but that's the best answer.
I really don't know. It always comes down to how do you see what is a mid-level player, what is a high-level player. When I think about all of this advice or talk about the mid-level players do that or this or blah blah,
doesn't matter.
I don't know. I know mid-level players who aren't like that, who are very much like that. I don't even know if they are mid-level players. I don't know what I am. Am I a high-level player? Am I also still a mid-level player? I don't know. I'd much rather have someone who does nothing but coin smashers for their skill level say this for me. Like,
yeah.
I don't want to define it myself.
That's again like just showing that you have a really good attitude about this stuff, because again, realistically, it doesn't matter.
Yes, that's the point. Does it matter? For me, that's always the point, actually. If it doesn't matter, why would you consider it? Like, for me, tier lists do not matter because I have my character and I will play him. No matter where he is on a tier list. So for me, it doesn't matter. I would never think about creating a tier list, discussing a tier list, and so on. Because it doesn't matter for me. Basically, a matchup chart also doesn't matter for me. Because looking at a matchup chart does not help me figure out matchups.
I mean, yeah, it's arbitrary numbers, right? And those kind of don't really benefit you in any way outside of generalization of this might be good, this might be bad. But at the same time,
and character choice. I would say character choice, it helps for that. But nothing beyond that. When you already have a main, well, figure out your matchups, train them, so on.
Again, we're always like, we're going off some direction, then coming back to another thing, and then going back into another direction entirely again. But that's how our podcast is supposed to go, so I can't complain. Again, like this has like flow-wise and just the stuff we talked about, this has probably been the best one so far. And I really appreciate that, man. But yeah, I think we have gone in depth on a lot of different things. So again, this was the most jam-packed one so far, which I'm really thankful for, because the last few ones, they were good, right? Or the first 3 ones rather. This is literally the 4th episode. like they were good. I was happy with them, but damn, this was another level. So if we can keep going on this one, that would be fun. But I would actually say we should probably start to end this year relatively soon, because I feel like now is a good point in time, because we kind of just came back full circle, right? And otherwise we just go off into another direction, and then like we don't look at the time or something like that. So yeah, would you kind of want to conclude like what exactly you would give the viewers, like in terms of advice, like from all of the things we talked about, what would you say to those people if they need advice?
What I said pretty much at the beginning. The absolute most important thing is to laugh and have fun. Enjoy yourself. You're playing a game. You're going to a tournament to play a game which you love with other people who also love this game. This is awesome. This is amazing. You should enjoy yourself. You should have the time of your life when you're doing that, because it's your passion. You're sharing your passion with other people who have the very same passion. That's amazing. That's great. Have fun. Laugh more. Just do not concern yourself with all of these things that bring negativity, bring you down, or whatever. Have fun.
I'm not gonna lie, the only thing these people need to do is just go to a tournament where you are and be having fun. Jesus Christ, like your attitude is so like it's going viral around you, basically. Damn.
I try, yeah.
It's working. It's working though. I think it's really important to have like players like you just around, because I feel like you kind of keep the community up as a whole. Because it's just like you go somewhere and that place is going well, basically, and people are kind of happy around you. I feel like it's not like me when I try that. I generally annoy people. So
Nah, don't think that. Just
no, I'm serious. I
when you're
ran.
having fun, then usually
Yeah.
it spreads. It's contagious all the time.
Man, my biggest moment was probably when I ran into my like tournament, because I also TO stuff, right? I ran into the like the room where everybody was playing and went like, "Woo, grand finals!" And people just looked at me and said, "Yo, this is losers finals," and I was just like, "Woo!" But man, I'm not bad about it. It was fun. So
Yes.
with kind of like again, thank you so much for coming on here. I'm sorry about all the technical difficulties we had at the start, but I'm gonna figure it out. So this was the first time we had somebody with an actual webcam on. So this is kind of some of the reason why stuff is looking a bit weird right now. But until next time, I'll definitely fix that. And yeah, I appreciate it so much. This was again super fun, and I hope I can feature you sometime again. Definitely.
Yeah, sure. Love to.
And yeah, go follow him on Twitter. His Twitter handle is just above him. So yeah, give him a follow. his Twitter account is pretty fun. So yeah, and until next time. In 2 weeks, I'm gonna have the next podcast. I think so. Yeah, I'd be really happy if you lot check it out. So see ya, guys.
Bye.